Hello there. So today play some I'm gonna play some chess against myself with my board here. So a while back I made a video or two where I played on this board. I think I did one with my dad, and I think I did. I don't say I think I did one with myself, but I don't remember exactly when or how long ago those were. So I just thought I'd talk about some things a little bit. Perhaps I don't know exactly what I'm going to say. I'm just gonna, talk about some different stuff while I play game here. So I like playing on the physical board because I don't know. I just like feeling the sensation of like physical pieces, and like I feel like with the online ones that, to me, it can be a little tricky sometimes for me to find people that want to do chess games that are aren't timed. I should probably I could probably try doing some of those, you know. More. I think that could be a good way to develop my chess skills, perhaps a little bit more. I don't know. But I'm not a grandmaster or anything like that. Far from it. I think I'm only considered like intermediate or whatever. And if I'm being honest, partly because I don't play the games normally as frequently as I used to for much of probably was it a year, something like that, a couple years ago. Right. I mean, I don't remember as much sort of different kind of strategies on that. I felt like I kind of got a little predictable, but okay, it's a little bit tricky for me to now kind of think outside of the box, but it doesn't mean I can't do that. So it goes first. So we'll do. Sorry, a little piece of dust on my shirt there. We'll do. All right, queen side. Pawn. And then, as part of that, we'll do kingside knight. I don't know I don't remember the official proper terms for different kind of stuff here, so just bear with me. So I guess today, this video, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna guess I'm gonna have to be another summer sit-in. It's either, I know I've only done this like the third one so far. Well, fourth one if you're counting the one I did yesterday. You got split into two parts, so if you're counting that, then this would be the fourth one. But I didn't mean to have it split apart. I just accidentally, I was trying to grab my phone and go do something else, walk somewhere else, right? Accidentally ended the video and all that. But so, anyways, I'll be curious to see what kinds of stuff I'll do for these summer sit-ins. Yesterday I talked a little bit about doing kind of where I talked about sort of my story ideas and all that I've had for a long time, and kind of the significance of those, or I forgot to plug in this light over here. I'm not having all the lamps on since nobody else is here, and I don't want to use too much electricity, but also, I don't want it to be just dark everywhere in the house because it's a little depressing. So yeah, I might do something like that either later today or tomorrow. Yeah, today it is Thursday. It is May 8th, 2025. So, yeah, it has. It's been a week since school ended for me. So that's nice. So I'm just trying to readjust to being around family, and if I'm being honest with myself here, and I don't really want to say too much about it, but I've kind of been a dick. I've not really said the nicest. Well, yeah, I've not really said the nicest things. I should have been more considerate. So I'm trying to do a little better with that. I mean, I like to think that on this channel that I generally am like, kind of respectful and all that, but I know sometimes I can be a bit rude. I don't know if how much it shows up on here, but regardless, I'm human. I make mistakes. I'm gonna try better. Yeah, so I'm not too proud of it. Yeah, I think for myself, yeah, I think I'm just. I think I kind of just. I don't know. I think I kind of just live in my own sort of bubble and all that. I think I talked about it a little bit. I think I forget exactly what I said. Was it this last video I did yesterday? One of the two parts. I don't remember which one it was. Yeah, sometimes I think that can hinder me a little bit. I was also trying to think. What move do I want to do? I guess we'll move. That night. I guess I'm also just trying to well, I guess I'll say it like this. I feel pretty nervous about getting jobs. I know I've had some before, but I know I'm gonna get some this summer. I'm gonna do some kind of work, and it looks like if things go well between them, I might very well end up just, as much as I don't really want to, I might end up just doing some of the landscaping work stuff with my dad, his business. Right, and I know that it'll make some things a little easier, like transportation, and it'll pay pretty good, but honestly, I think I'm, so I think sometimes it's hard for me to kind of get out of my own head, or kind of, I don't know, stop for like overestimating like how much risk I'm going to be taking on, or anything like that. I think I'm, at least from what I've heard from some people close to me, right, I'm not really taking type of person. You could argue maybe intellectually, or like mentally, like I do, right? So maybe, I don't know, but physically, I don't. All right, I'm pretty risk averse. I feel like. Hey, is there a bird out there you're trying? go outside, Jasper? Go outside, Jasper? Sorry, what are you gonna do? Come on, there you go. Alright, so let the dogs out. I'll try to keep a good eye on them. Probably shouldn't be, unless I hope, not too difficult for me to do that. I'm gonna make a move here on Black's side here, so I think the tricky thing, one of the, well, I mean, it's probably kind of obvious, but one of the tricky things with playing against yourself is you kind of know what you're going to do. I mean, you know, it's obvious to say that, but, I guess. This is tricky. I guess I'll do that. I don't want to do the same. I don't want to do all the same moves between all the different. Well, I'm only playing two sides here, so. But so anyways, when I talk about the whole like physical risk thing, I'm not a person who I don't like getting dirty. I mean I know it's gonna happen, and like I don't like washing dishes or like sweeping your back or something like that. However, because you know it's pretty simple, pretty basic, and it's usually like pretty fast, and all I just wash things right after. You know, it doesn't feel. I mean, it is. Sometimes you have to touch the little disgusting things, but you know, just get it over real quick. But I'm not really the type of person. I don't really like getting. You know, I don't like getting dirty. I don't like getting sweaty. I don't know if any of us really do, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I mean, guys, I don't know exactly what kind of stuff I'd be even doing anyways. I mean, I don't know, maybe, and I'd probably not even be doing like the most serious stuff that they might be, you know, doing like, you know, using like some of the super loud equipment. Because I mean, I know you could probably just put an earmuffs or I mean, my dad was saying like that's probably something that they offer for me, but I don't know. I think for myself, I kind of just I feel like this could either be quite easily understood or maybe very hard to sympathize with, depending on the perspective of your perspective, viewer, all that good stuff, right? But to me, it feels like I don't want to. I don't want to work. Right. Now, I know that I can't just not do that, right? And I know that, okay, good. See, the dog just still out there. I know that there's some sacrifices I'll have to make with my life, and I can't just think about stuff and enjoy free time, you know, and just travel and all that, right? I mean, I have to find a way to be able to, you know, feed myself, be able to get, pay for, electricity, food, shelter, water, all that good stuff, right? And it feels frustrating because it feels like that to me, I feel like being free of like not having to do stuff, like not having obligations, it feels very free to me. It feels um, nice, enjoyable, and sometimes I think when I was younger, I don't think I really fully appreciated that because again I was kind of a kid and I was like, oh, I didn't really think about it. It seemed like I was so far away. But right now I just finished my first year of college, and I know I'm gonna have to do something to figure out my food situation for when I'm studying abroad. And I don't know what other kind of stuff I'll be trying to buy. I don't know what kind of school supplies I'll need to get and all that, but that's a different thing there. But primarily the food situation, because they offer housing, and I chose option of that will be zero additional cost, so that's good. And I'm already having scholarships and some other things they'll take care of, tuition and all of that. And some things I'll just have the student loan debt for, which I'll just try to work on paying back. But it's zero interest. I don't have to immediately. I just kind of do it based on what I can when I want to. So that's great. But still, and I feel like for myself, I feel like we kind of just. I feel like that by working a job, by having to get myself to wake up at a certain time and go to bed at a certain time, and having such limited and specific amounts of time that I can do stuff that I want to, if that even exists anymore in our job culture, right? That feels like a restriction on my freedom. That feels a restriction on my autonomy, and I really don't like the way that it makes me feel. I don't like the way that I feel because of that. I don't like the fact that I feel like I'm not going to be able to enjoy anything because I'm just worried about trying to get by for the rest of my life, right? I feel like, for me, it seems like that I have to sign my, body away, I have to sign my soul away, I have to, exhaust myself physically, mentally, emotionally, just to be able to get basic necessities. And I know that I'm coming from this from a very privileged position. I know that I'm coming from this from someone who has not been exposed to a lot of the harsh realities of life, and that sometimes that might probably does make some people feel quite unsympathetic, to say the least, towards this sort of experience or this sort of emotion that I'm having, feeling I'm having. I think that, to me, it just, I don't get why we think, so some people think that we should be forced to do work, or that we should, or that's like the main thing, the main point of our lives. I don't mind, doing some small things, right? I don't mind taking care of chores. I don't mind, feeding pets or washing dishes or taking out trash, or doing, the occasional nice thing like I did yesterday, cutting the bamboo outside, or helping make a meal, or getting gifts or stuff like that. I don't mind doing those things. But to me, it feels like that it's an expectation that you're supposed to give it your all instead of an opportunity to do that because that's what I choose to do. It's like if I feel like that I'm hesitant to want to have a family at least for a long while because it feels like if I want to do things to support, I want to do them because it's out of the goodness of my heart. I want to do them because I'm trying to be charitable. I'm trying to be kind, and it feels like I have to play a forced hand. And I know I don't have a family, and I don't know why. I don't know why exactly I'm worrying about that all immediately right now. I mean, I don't need to. I don't have to. But I think for the point for myself is that I feel like I'll be trapped. I feel like I'll be stuck after college, at least for a long time. And I know that I think that my fear about what life will be like after college is probably over-exacerbated, probably by maybe the media I consume or the my sort of desire to try to figure my life out ahead of time, or things like that. But it doesn't negate the fact that even if things will be fine, I feel scared because my future is uncertain. And I think that's a pretty common sort of experience. I think that's a very normal thing to feel, very normal thing to have, right? And I feel like I don't know what I'm going to do. And I know I don't have to. I don't have to sort of figure everything out. But to me, it feels even more frustrating because I feel like I simultaneously receive these two different kind of messages from people that I interact with at school, here at home. That it really confuses me, and maybe I'm being closed off. Maybe there's some kind of maybe I'm intolerant of some kind of ambiguity or something, but or shifting back and forth between two different modes. But it feels like I simultaneously receive the messages of that I'm supposed to relax, I'm supposed to enjoy my life, I'm supposed to take my time and try to figure things out as I go, or I'm supposed to try to figure out what I'm going to do ahead of time. I'm supposed to try to figure out what career path I'm going on, what major I'm going to decide on with college. Where am I going to, maybe not every single detail, maybe not quite to the level that maybe I kind of internally interpret that as, or think that or think that is what people mean when they see these kind of things. But to me, it feels very confusing. It feels destabilizing. It feels like I don't know what to do entirely. I don't know. Do people want me to relax and enjoy myself and just figure things out as I go? I could be happy to do that, right? Sometimes, and kind of just take things, once a day at a time and all that, and kind of just be, laid back and chill. I enjoy that. It feels peaceful to do so. But I feel like simultaneously I'm told that I'm supposed to, work for a lot of hours every week. Maybe not, maybe not the absurd amount of hours that I'm afraid of. Maybe not 60, 70 plus hours, because most realistically, I don't think I don't want to have a family just yet. I want to hold off on that, and And there might be people in the comment section being like, well, you only have so much time, before biological clock, ticks out and whatnot. I mean, for, for a wife or anything like that. And, it's a valid point, but I don't think that we should, again, this is a whole discussion for another time. I don't think we should force people to have children either, right? I don't think that a lot of people, especially in politics, not just in the United States, but I think in a lot of other countries too, don't understand the fact that things have been getting more and more expensive, and it is harder and harder to have the free time to, to invest and to be with one's family, with one's children. If you're trying to, also provide them with a lot of, good materials, being able to go to a good school that probably costs a lot of money, tuition costs are pretty high nowadays, right? Or be able to provide anything else that their children might need, like some kind of mode of transportation, especially here in the United States, right? Whole thing of, will parents try to help, their children get a car, and that's a very big thing. And, I mean, as much, I don't want to drive, so that kind of deals with one part of it, but that doesn't mean I don't have the whole transportation issue. I still do, because then I'm just depending on someone else to bring me around. And criticize me all you want. Criticize me and say that I'm lazy. Criticize me and say that, I'm too fucking scared and I just need to get over it. Okay, I get it. I get that people expect, I get that it's normal for people to, spend, thousands of dollars on getting a car, and to also spend thousands of dollars on, gas, oil, repairs, insurance, all these good things, right? That you need to feel safe, to feel like you're covered in case an emergency does happen, right? Because they do exist, And I mean, as much as we might want to be like, well, we can just make smart decisions and all that, I mean, bad things are still going to happen. Disasters are still going to occur, maybe not as much as I'm afraid that they might, but, I don't know. I think sometimes, especially I feel like I feel like I probably have this sort of very negative outlook on what I think the future is like, what people expect of me, perhaps, I don't know. Maybe I'm being perfectly reasonable, maybe I'm being realistic, I don't know. It's hard for me to gauge that sometimes, if I'm being realistic or if I'm just taking things too far. But nonetheless, I just hope that I'm able to enjoy my life. I hope that I'm able to enjoy things that lay ahead of me. And I don't feel right now, because I don't have a lot of experience with a lot of things, because the future is laying ahead of me and I feel like there's a lot of pressure to figure things out. I feel scared, I feel nervous, I feel I feel like I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I don't expect you in my audience to know that.
You gonna come in, Tucker? Come on, Tucker.
Good job.
Yeah, you know. See you
see him right now, but my dog says hi. Probably if you don't know, I don't know if you did or not, but I think I showed him in first summer sitting video I did on Monday, I believe. So, maybe that's kind of the whole point. I got distracted. I was trying to make sure dogs are still in the yard. I don't know. I think being I think there's difficulties to every part of life. I'm not gonna claim that, like being old is easy or anything. It definitely has comes night. I do not want to be old. I definitely do not want to. But right, I feel like it's easier. I fall into this so many times. It's easier to feel like the grass is greener on the other side, whether that be, once you reach a certain age in your life or point, or once you, have a certain, once you've gotten yourself maybe your house or your car, or maybe you've had certain experiences under your belt, or maybe you get a degree, really anything. There's so many different things, or maybe relationships, or maybe experiences, whatever it may be for you, right? Skills, relationships, experiences, really anything, I suppose. That, once we have them, right, it feels like, okay, now we're kind of on easy mode with us, and we kind of just relax. And it is frustrating because I feel like in my brain, and a lot of people's brains as well, it feels like it should be. It feels like, it just makes sense, right? And it's like, I don't want to have to do anything much further past this. I've managed to get this, so just give me what I'm owed. And I think that honestly sometimes, yes, I mean, that is very sort of entitled kind of position. I'm not gonna lie, I think that just comes from the fear that we don't get guarantees in life. We don't get guarantees that the job that we have, that the car that we get, that the relationships that we have or we're in are going to stay that way. That things will be okay because of that, right? Or that we are guaranteed to have, an easier rest of our lives or anything, right? And although it can help, right? But I think for myself, I kind of just get to the sort of point where I feel like, what's even the point of playing this game? What's even the point of trying to do these things if I'm not guaranteed to have it work out anyways, right? Because essentially what you're asking me to do is to spend hundreds to thousands of hours every year for a lot of my life, however long that may be, to get something that may or may not exist, to be able to feel safe, comfortable, secure, right? And I'm not even guaranteed to have that. I'm not even guaranteed to be able to, right? Like the chances that I feel like that I have to attain the typical American dream, to be able to have my own house, to be able to be, I could be working out, and and then my wife could be stay at home whenever, I don't know if we want to do that, but the traditional idea. I wasn't saying that, right? To be able to have, a nice white picket fence, to be able to have, a couple of pets, to be able to have, 2, 3 children, right? To be able to, take a long vacation once or twice a year, not just like, oh, I get 5 days off, but like you get 3 to 5, you get 3 to 7 weeks off or something, right? To be able to have, to be able to just easily be able to pay off my month's rent or get all the groceries I could ever need, right? With, by working, 1, 2 weeks, and then I'm good and then I can kind of just enjoy the rest of my month. The rest, I can kind of just do that, right? That's not realistic. I don't feel like that's realistic. Unless you are just willing to sell yourself completely and utterly. And you're also higher class, and if you already have connections with people that can get you those things. Because let's be real, I don't think that hard work is the only sole factor in determining what kind of opportunities we get in this life. Because again, we're social creatures, right? We depend on each other. We depend on the people around us. And if you're born rich, it's easy to not see differently. And I know that what I have is would be considered to be pretty dang wealthy by a lot of people's standards in a lot of the world. And I think that's a good thing for me to understand and to keep in mind, right? But nonetheless, right, we see that more and more people are, struggling to be able to buy, even a small house or apartment, or to be able to take care of a family, and have time to be with them and to take vacations and to, right, not really stress all too much about different life expenses. And I don't know, I think maybe there's something to be said for maybe some kind of optimism that I feel like sometimes I fail to express, I fail to have. Right, maybe it's more, maybe the perspective that I should learn is maybe more to, well, maybe I don't get it, but maybe, I look at what I do gain. Maybe I look at, okay, well, I gain certain skills. Right? I gain, maybe new connections that could help me later on down the road. Maybe I gain, I'm trying to think here, maybe I gain something else on my resume that might help me just a little bit more to be able to get a a safe, stable, well-paying job or something like that, right? That could help me to do these kind of things I might want to do. But to me, I think sometimes it's hard. It is frequently hard for me to keep that in perspective. It feels difficult to not feel like what's even the point? What's even the point of playing this game? Because at the end of the day, I would I don't want to be lied to. I don't want to be given something that I can't really trust. And I don't feel like I can really trust jobs. I don't really feel like I can trust the mentality that and the these kind of things that so many of us have, that so many of us have grown up under. And I don't think it's necessarily anything personal, but it does mean that I feel like it is hard for me to, at least in this respect, I think there's other areas, there's definitely other areas that I'm not mentioning here, but, like shared interests or whatever. But I think this maybe can be a little alienating for me at times. You know, I've heard the thing before of, you know, maybe when I'm, you know, whatever age you want to say, 40, 50, 60, whatever, right? Maybe I'll feel differently. Maybe I will feel differently about jobs. Maybe I'll feel differently about college. Maybe I'll feel like I should have tried harder, or that these things are really worth it, or that I am, you know, willing to play the game. And maybe that is. I don't want to admit it. I don't like that thought. I really don't. I never want to give, and I never want to give up. I never want to surrender to something that I feel like I have no other choice. Right? That's the only way that I would be able to live. That's the only way I'd be able to do anything that I actually want to be able to do. Which is scary, which is unnerving. But it's possible. It could happen. It could happen. And I don't know if it will or not. I don't know, you know, if the experiences that I'll have maybe this fall term, right? Well, it'll be winter and spring over there, but whatever, right? No, that this time that I'll have in Sydney, Australia will change my mind about these things. And maybe it will. And maybe I just have to suck it up, and maybe, you know, I should just shut up, and I should just, you know, bare my teeth and break my body and lose my soul just to live, just to be able to survive. And I know it's a little dramatic, to say the least. I know that this whole thing is probably overblown, and you know, I should just shut up. But I needed to get this out of my mind. Okay, I needed to speak what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, even if I don't feel this way forever, right? And a lot of feelings, they change with time, right? They're transient. They don't stay the same. We have them in the moment, but I'm not bottling this up. I'm not going to just pretend that these feelings don't exist, because that would be inauthentic. That would be untrue to who I am and what I believe in. And I just got to figure out how to deal with that. I barely even played that many moves with chess here. Let me see, how long has this been? Like 40, 30, 44 minutes? I'm sorry, I have not really played too much here, mostly just been ranting about stuff the whole time. You know, and I'm not gonna apologize for it. I'm not gonna apologize for it. What move do I want to do? What move do I want to do? I don't know. I guess I'll, kind of cliche or whatever, but I'll just do that. I couldn't really think of anything else. Anyways, I don't know. I don't know what to say next. But I do hope I made my point clear enough. Hope you understand. At least someone understands what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and probably doesn't think that I'm just an entitled brat who should just shut the fuck up. But who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? You honestly, it doesn't even fucking matter. You know, again, let's see what the point. All right, why should I even care what people even think, anyways? Like, and why should I even bother to think about that anymore? Because people are tired, people are exhausting, and I'm fed up with. I'm fed up with people's expectations. I'm fed up with being told that I have to do things a certain way, and not having the choice if I'm going to play by that game or not. Right? You know, I'm tired of feeling like that I only have two ways out of this dilemma, and it's either to give up or another option, but I'm not doing that because I can never get myself to. But anyways, I don't know. I think honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to make this video be public because I don't want people to see this side of me. I don't want people to see how truly negative and pessimistic I feel right now and can be sometimes. I purposefully try to choose some videos that seem to be a little nicer, seem to be, I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I've said the nicest things in every single one of my videos, or that I've not had my own share of bias. I clearly have. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. But, you know, I don't know if I am. And if you're seeing this, it's because I chose to, and hopefully I don't get shot down for it. Hopefully I don't get shot down for trying to express myself, express my feelings. And I don't intend for this to be the way that I am in every one of my videos or anything, but it would be a lie for me to be dishonest. It would be wrong for me to be dishonest. Okay, because I know that that's something. Honesty is something that I value, and I'm not gonna pretend like my life is glamorous or anything. I'm not gonna pretend like, you know, I'm not most social media influencers, right? I'm not most social media influencers. I may try to show the parts that maybe look nicer, and yeah, maybe that's a little hypocritical for me to say this little thing, sure. But at least I don't pretend to have everything under control. At least I don't pretend to, you know, make myself feel better just by, you know, getting all the newest, shiniest things and flashing them off and showing them off. I get the urge. I really do. Sometimes I feel like, oh, if I just, you know, had XYZ thing and I could just kind of show that off and I can kind of be like, yeah, you know, I'm fine and all that. I get it. I feel that way sometimes too. But I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to myself. And I don't want to lose. I'm trying to think what the words are. I don't want to lose myself to that temptation. My reputation, I don't know. I don't even know if I really have much fun on here. I am pretty small. Content creator and everything. Right, but well, anyways, let's try to continue just playing this game here, and maybe I can try to shift to somewhat a little bit more of a positive note. down in the dirt down in the mud the whole time for this, you know. But kind of forced my own hand there, but you know, whatever. But like, good move, you know. But the whole thing, I don't know if you really been paying attention too much to Scott, just been talking most of the time, but I don't know. You know, I do want to. I know it's really, really late into this video, and you know, I don't know. Maybe this doesn't really. Maybe this doesn't really matter, anyways. I mean, I especially especially if I do keep this just as a, you know, private video or anything, but. I do want to. Oh, maybe it's too soon for it, but I do want to apologize. You know, I probably shouldn't have said some of those things. I probably should have just said them in a different way, or at a different time and place or anything like that. And you know, maybe I should just go see a counselor, to be honest. I don't know. You know, probably just try to see about that. Maybe that's what or maybe I just, you know, maybe I just try to enjoy my day while I have it. Enjoy this time I have here at home before, you know, before I go to work, before I, you know, go study abroad. So yeah. Okay, so it is Black's turn. So what am I going to do? That's a good question. Now, sometimes it's like when I'm playing against myself, well, actually pretty frequently, it's like I could see myself doing that move, then I'm like, oh no, I could just counter that. I know I know how to defeat that, so it'll be interesting to see how long this goes for. If I'll even finish or do this entire chess game on camera here or not. I don't even know. And I'm sorry, I probably, if I remember to, hopefully I'll remember to just put this as I'll just say like summer sit-in and not like a, you know. I mean, I was thinking about titling it something like, you know, you know, chess summer sit-in, you know, or sit-in with, you know, certain other, you know, I don't know. I can't think of something that's too short. Well, I can't think of something that's not too long. No, whatever. You know what I mean. Alright, I don't want to have my titles be too long or complicated. I know sometimes it probably be a little boring. I know. You know, I mean, with the Minecraft speedruns, most of them I just titled as like NC speedrun, you know, like, you know, and I just type in like S, X, right, and then E, you know, Y or something like that, right, for season number, episode number, right, and you know, it's boring, I know, it's uninteresting, but it's simple, it works, you know, I don't know. I'll probably think of, hopefully I think of more original names later on down the road. Kind of just did it because I didn't really know what to call it, and I didn't really feel like it was anything like super interesting or glamorous. So I didn't want to pretend like it was. I don't want to be misleading. But I don't know. Maybe people enjoyed it. I mean, I've heard from one or two of my friends that I've played Minecraft with a lot in this last year or something like that. I don't know. It's been a year. Probably not quite. Probably not a year. Probably closer to like, I don't know, 8, 9 months, something like that. I really do not know. Whatever the case, they've watched a bunch of my. Well, I don't know actually how many it is, but they've watched some of my Minecraft videos and they've really enjoyed some of those. So yeah, if you've enjoyed any of my sort of content, maybe you didn't enjoy. I know I probably didn't enjoy this too because it kind of just ranty and all that. But and again, I don't know if I'm gonna make this meeting public or not. But if I do, and it is right, and you enjoyed it or enjoyed anything I've done before, feel free to like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. I'm trying to reach 100 subscribers. I don't know what day I want to say before. I could say my birthday. I don't know if I'm going to or not. Maybe like June 1st or something. I don't know. We'll see. I gotta pick. I mean, it's not really like a particularly pressing issue or anything like that. And I don't know. I gotta think about what kind of Minecraft stuff I like to do. I mean, honestly, I might just do same old, more, speedruns and all that, but, I don't know. We'll see. It does feel, I don't know. I've talked a little bit before, but I am curious if I actually will do anything for my story idea or not with my Minecraft one, because I've thought about it, but I kind of just keep on putting it off. I don't know if I'm actually ever gonna do anything with it, and I feel sad, but so is life. I guess we'll do that. Just activate that piece. Move it out. Alright, White's turn. What am I going to do? I would say probably position here. Kinda got some of these pieces trapped back here, so I gotta do something about that. I'm gonna put pawn there. I don't know if that's gonna help too much, but maybe that might do something. Black's turn. I guess I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and just move that pawn out. Okay, and then White's turn again. And we'll do, you know what, actually I'll put that guy there. Put that guy there. Okay, and then Black black's turn. No, I prevented myself from doing a certain move. I was gonna bring one of these guys out, put him there, but I stopped myself from doing that. So I didn't even see that first, but you know, it's fine. Can't anticipate every possible outcome in this game because there's too fucking many of them. But it's kind of part of the fun of it too. Let's see here. Let's say let's move that pawn up. A little more pressure right there. And then I'll do. What position do I want to do that? I'll put this guy here. That's a perfect opportunity for that. Oh, well then it's black's turn. You don't like you that. So I got myself in a bit of a rut there. Whoopsie. Okay. I guess we will. I guess we'll break the. We'll break the tension there. And then white's turn, and yeah, just do that. Honestly, a problem mistake. I probably should. Whatever, it's fine. I don't really care. So then I have to move the king, and there's only one place to do that. Well, I should have done differently, but risk that. And then, as you would expect, there, yep, black's mistake. Take backsies. And then, since it is white's turn, I'll just go ahead and take that pawn. There. And then black's gonna do something pretty substantial here. That was a pretty bad mistake. Okay, well, interesting situation I got myself into a little bit. Think of a good way to get out of it, perhaps. Well, I guess I'll put queen. Now save there. I think that's probably a more logical position. White's turn. That's defending of that pawn, so that's good for black, not for white. I guess. I don't know. I guess we'll castle, because might as well. Go ahead and take advantage of that. Just fortify defenses a little bit further. Just make it a little harder on black to win here. And then wait, I guess can I does that work? Probably not. Oof. Pretty rough position here. I guess we'll do that. Just defend that one a little more. Or the other, getting ahead. No. White's turn. We will. I guess we'll just go ahead and move that pawn up. Black's turn. No, I know it doesn't. I don't know. Guess, well. Some move, king there. A great move, I know, but thinking about some other ones after that. And then knight goes there. Attack, that was a mistake for black. So they have to move it, can't put it, can't move it forward, of course, so move it back here. And then white's turn again. So then, no, can't do that. That could be a bad move. So, I guess we'll just go ahead and threaten that guy. Threaten that guy there. So we can black's offenses. And then black has to respond to that. So, yeah, kind of stuck on good moves there. Restricting myself too much further back. Yeah, I guess we'll just retreat that guy. Don't want to lose him just yet. White's turn. So I guess we will go ahead and move this guy up. Black's turn. We will go ahead and take this guy. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. And then White's turn. I guess we'll move. No, screw it. I'll do that. That's a good move. Black respond to that by. Black's really in a pickle here. It's not really great moves you can do right now. Well, I guess I'll move castle here. Alright, White's turn again. We will. We'll just go ahead and move this guy up. Not really too big to go. might be a bad move, but and then black just respond to that. Actually, that might have been a really good move. Yeah, it's kind of exposing black's weak side here. Oh wait, no, can't do that because that's an illegal move. Whoopsie. My bad. Yeah, that was a blind spot area of mine. I didn't even. Wait, no, that pawn is defended currently by the bishop, so never mind. I guess we'll. Guess we'll do that. Okay, black's turn again. I guess we'll move queen out there. And then knight. Okay, attack. Here, force black to move their king. And we'll put them. We'll put them right there, I guess. And then, wait, no, put them right there. And then it is white's turn. So then guess I'll move it back here. Black's turn again. I guess we'll move bishop back there. White's turn. Okay. You can do something about that. So I put this guy here. Actually, nope, that's a shit idea. I'll let myself to put him elsewhere. I'll make a different move. We'll put this guy here. And then, there's probably some moves that I'm missing. I'm not gonna lie. Probably something I'm missing. Yeah, and then we'll just do that. And it's Black's turn. So risky, very risky, I know, but I'll do that. And then, oh wait, no, I'll give that back. It's really not looking too good for Black right now. Wait, no, I'm doing that. I don't know. I think I could continue on with this, but I don't think, unless I decide, and White makes a pretty bad mistake, I don't think Black's gonna win this one here. A pretty bad mistake earlier, letting the queen get through and capture the knight over here. I mean, not knight, castle, what am I saying? Well, anyways, I need to just probably try to be enjoying something else, do something else. I'll probably just, I don't know. I was considering doing some more work outside, and I don't know, maybe I will, but it's supposed to rain at some point today, I think. Well, I thought it was gonna rain yesterday, but it didn't. I have to check the hourly weather to see if or when they'll actually do it today. I don't know. I didn't get dressed for that. Maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know. I am sorry for the very negative tone I had with this. This has been like a super long video and all that. I don't know. I'll try to do. I need to do better. Pause and all that. But anyways, hopefully this was at least somewhat entertaining. This is probably not. This is far from my best videos. Well, I have plenty of other ones, so go and check them out.